Yo, fam, what's up, man? It's your boy BWTIII of Bloodline Revolution. Welcome to another episode of The Catalyst. You know, a whole bunch of things has been happening, man. A whole bunch of things have been happening. I mean, protests everywhere, people speaking out, the whole Blackout Tuesday type thing. You know, there's so many things happening right now, man. And the one thing that here on this show, and even with Bloodline Revolution, we about direct and progression. You know, we catalysts here. And we get in touch with other catalysts too. You know, over the weekend, I had the opportunity to speak on Facebook Live, on his Facebook Live, a good friend of mine. He goes by the name of Swiggle Mandela. And if you're from Portland, you know exactly who this guy is. You know, he's a really good friend of mine. I consider him a brother, you know. We got into a really deep conversation about this. A really deep conversation. And it's a powerful conversation. So powerful that I wanted to make that conversation an episode on The Catalyst to continue this series, you know, this series of this subject, all right? This is part 3. All right, everybody pay attention to what we're saying. And if you get the opportunity to look, check out the comments. You know, there was really good comments that were displaying throughout the conversation. So check it out. Holla at me and be easy for sheezy and stay strong out there. All right, everybody stay strong. All right, take heed to what me and Swiggle are talking about. And let's move forward. Let's organize and let's stick together. All of us. You know, there's no color in that. All of us need to stick together. All right? Be easy. Check out the conversation we had.
See if you're still in here. Facebook's request system for y'all to request and get on here live is a little bit bootsy, so y'all gotta keep sending them requests. You guys send it more than once sometimes.
What's up, fam?
What's up, bro? How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm good, man. I just put a video out on let me get to where you can see me, bro. On YouTube, man, talking about this stuff, man. And the one thing that I'm realizing, bro, man, we've been limited from the beginning, man. Everybody, bro. Everybody. And in the video I'm talking about, and in those that are looking at this, man, y'all got to go either on my personal Facebook page or Bloodline Revolution Facebook page or our YouTube channel, Bloodline Revolution Rebel Theater, and watch this video because it's powerful, man. I posted it yesterday, and people are sharing it, people are feeling it, man. The point that I'm trying to make, the point that I was making or am making, is that the whole ideology of the systematic change that we're talking about, we have to start from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? We have to start from the beginning. When this country was built, right, they wrote a U.S. Constitution, right? And in the very first words of the first paragraph talk about we the people of the United States. And the one thing that I'm trying to let everyone understand is that they weren't talking about everyone. We the people were not involved in writing that, right?
Word.
So when you think about it, from jump, that document, everything is stemmed to that document. All the laws for every state, all the regulations for every state, every branch, executive, legislative, judicial branch, all linked back to the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah.
And the U.S. Constitution only allows a certain group of people to progress. If you ain't a part of that group, then you're going to deal with a bunch of issues. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm working towards doing and have everyone understand that I know everybody's mad, but if we want that systematic change, we got to push these people to rewrite that damn thing and involve everyone. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, only certain people are progressing from it. So everyone got to see that video, man. I got pictures in there. I got videos in there of what's happening. Cops, people reacting to the cops. It's a 5 minute, almost 6 minute video that is powerful. And the main thing that I want people to understand too is that yes, the revolution is here, but we have to be organized in how we do this. We can't be out there jacking everybody's stuff up, man. We got to be there to support each other. You know what I'm saying? That whole idea of what your wife said, everyone needs to educate themselves. That's the point that I made in the video. You got to educate yourself because the revolution starts within you first. You can't just go out there and follow the bandwagon of everybody else. You see somebody busting their fist through the window, that doesn't mean you go over there and you bust your fist through the window too. You know what I'm saying? You got to educate yourself before you go out there and do this stuff. So I'm at a point now, bro, where I can't hold this stuff in. You know what I'm saying? I educated myself so much over these years, man, and even talking to you and all the conversations we had, man. It's time for people like us to start educating us. You know what I'm saying? This is our time, like right now, bro, to where we have to keep letting people know that, hey, man, that ain't the way to live, man. You know, if you need leadership, follow us. You know what I'm saying? Follow us. Look at us. Look at what me and you are doing. We can set the example for everybody here. And all we have to
So,
do, what's up?
do you think that the destroying of property was effective in any way?
You know what? I don't know, man. To be honest with you, man, I think when I look at how these people are rioting, man, it gives the system another excuse to lock us up in cages, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna look at us as animals. You know,
But
when
but think but think about this. So before we do it, they already have no reason to put us. I'm not gonna say no reason, but I mean 9 times out of 10, 7 times out of 10, when the police pull somebody over in Oregon, specifically, it's a black person.
Mhm.
So a lot of the time they don't even have a reason. It's almost like it's almost like when somebody tells you that accuses you of stealing for so long that you feel like, man, maybe I should have stole something.
Right,
So I feel like at this point, I don't even know if we would be having this conversation if it wasn't for the protests
hmm
and the destruction of property, because that's what really has people outraged,
yep,
you know? So I think you got to have both. As much as it's a new kind of struggle, but you
right,
but you have to have both, because I think a lot of people, they're so they're so indoctrinated, and they live so much by the system
mm,
that that's what's important to them.
right,
The businesses, the buildings, they're not worried about a black man being murdered. They're
right,
not worried about it. Even some of the businesses I see, it's like I see people rallying for small businesses, and I'm a business owner as well. But are those small businesses, what do those small businesses do against police brutality? And
right,
not to say that it's just okay to go fuck up everybody and everything that is not against police brutality, but there are business owners who are upset now
mm,
because this happened.
right,
But why did this happen?
right,
And if people would like it to stop, or if they don't want it to happen again, I think they have to do more than just clean their store up. They have to do more than sweep the glass up. They need to figure out, because this has already happened in LA. This has already
yep.
happened in Minneapolis. This has already happened in so many places
Right, bro. And on
for
on
so
that
long.
note, I just looked at the news right now. They doing it in London right now, bro. They in
Yeah,
London
and
holding up George Floyd signs, man.
and as much as it's just like when people, you know, They tell you that your business is not legit
Mhm.
if you don't have a tax ID number. They tell you that you're not conducting business the right way if you're not paying the government taxes. And I
Mhm.
understand, but isn't this the same reason why this country was formed? Because
Mhm.
somebody was getting taxed over there and
Yep.
people wanted to leave there. So
Yep.
it's like they tell you that you can't even conduct business if you're not going into a government building and
Mhm.
getting their permission,
Yep.
and it's like we understand, but at the same time there's people who don't have a business license.
Right.
There are people who don't really even have the time or the know-how or even the patience to go down to some government building and try to get all this paperwork and jump through all these hoops.
Yep.
And it's almost like to us that's like almost like it's conforming so much to the point where those of us and those people who don't believe in that,
Mhm.
they're not going to have respect for anybody who's trying to move through that system.
Yep.
That system has never necessarily helped us.
Right.
So, you have all this property and all these people conducting business in America, and we're all trying, and we don't know who. Oh yeah, they was set. They was my boy said they was setting them police cars on fire in Seattle.
Yep.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
Mhm.
say no names, but they was setting them on fire here too.
Yep.
Feel me? It ain't make the news because maybe they don't want to show how much power and
Mhm.
how much is going on, but they was definitely fucking
Yep.
them cars up here too. Multiple,
Yep.
multiple
Mhm.
police cars, and I
Yep.
mean, it's a voice. The protests, the peaceful ones, and the
Mhm.
non-peaceful ones.
Right.
It's a voice,
Yep.
and we haven't been heard for so long. It's a human issue, yes,
Mhm.
it's a human issue, but the black humans are the ones being murdered.
Yep.
So when you've been when you've been telling somebody, whispering and using your inside voice
Mhm. Yep.
for so long,
Watching what you
and
say.
you know, you know, Kaepernick took a knee and they fired him. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? You get basketball players who may be suspended for saying certain things, and you have
Yep.
owners calling basketball players niggers,
Yep.
and so it gets to a point where it's like Pac said. Pac said there was a time when we was, we are hungry. Please let us in. We are, and a week
Yeah.
later he said it's gonna be, let us in. We hungry. He said a week
Right.
later is, yeah, open up the door. I'm picking the lock and I'm coming through blasting. So it's like
Right.
you've tried for so long this way,
Right.
and we didn't. I'm not gonna say it never had an effect.
Right.
There has been change brought about being peaceful, but there's also been change brought about, like we know, through violence,
Right.
through destruction. And I mean, as much as people don't want to admit it, that's a natural thing.
Right.
How was
Yep.
this country formed?
Yep. Yep.
On the through genocide, through millions of natives being murdered.
Right. Yep.
How was the wealth of this country formed?
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
Millions, upwards of 20 million people died in the Middle Passage on the way to America in the slave trade.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I think people need to understand, like, if somebody, we could just keep it simple. If somebody is depriving you of something for so long, if
Mhm.
somebody's parents are abusing them,
Right.
once that child gets old enough, you can tell him to be peaceful, but you can't blame that child if he decides to become violent.
Right.
if if
Mhm.
if your community has been, your city, your country has been trying to keep you down for so long, it's even like I mean, cannabis. We were selling cannabis before it was legal, and so many people had to go be incarcerated for that. So many
Right,
black and brown people had to go be incarcerated for that. And then they turn around and make it legal, and now we barely can even hardly get a dispensary.
right. Yep,
And now
yep.
we seeing all these white people profit off of something that we've been trying to do for years. So I think people are just angry, and I can't blame people when they go destroy stuff because they've been destroying our community for years, for
Yeah.
hundreds of years.
But I think now it's time for us to really look back at, all the violence, right? Like all the riots, even though all the riots and everything were justified, we have to look at our past and in our present. What did we learn from these riots? What did we learn from looting? What did we learn from it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, was it actually effective? We know that violence, you know, at some point in time is going to make you feel good. Like if you get in a fight with somebody, right? You get in a fight at that moment, you win, you feel good at that moment.
For sure.
But that doesn't fix the root of the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like us going over here and messing up downtown doesn't fix the root of the problem. To me, it looks like, if you look at it like this, man, when we come together and we're mad and we go and we jack up downtown, all that money from the government that should be going towards welfare, unemployment, all these supporting organizations from the government that helps us as the people, right? All that money gets stripped and goes to these corporate entities to help them fix their stuff. You know what I'm saying? So like in more ways than one, yeah, we getting our wiggles out by breaking everything, but at the same time during cleanup, all the money goes back to them. You know, so
I think, man, what's crazy is I don't know if money can be the solution.
exactly,
I
and
don't know if, and I
because
think that's part of the reason why it's like, you know what? It's almost like fuck it, man, because if we can't look to the government is supposed to be doing unemployment, they're supposed to be doing all this shit, but it's like at
mm,
this point we can't no longer look to the government.
exactly.
So in my mind, it's like that's their money anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I don't know, man. I'm caught in between because it's like that
It's
money is a part of that system, and
exactly.
they gonna use that as an excuse now.
Yep. 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 So
So
we got to look at it in all angles, man. So like what I do when I think about stuff like this, I look at the worst case scenario, right? I look at the money portion of it. I look at the people portion of it. I look at the government portion of it. And the way that I look at it is that the way things are right now, this systematic, this racism that's happening, man, it's been happening from the beginning. And we've learned it, everyone has learned it. And the thing that we need to do is we need to come together as people, as humans. Like you brought the point up, Malcolm X. Like Malcolm X at one point in time only thought about black people. You know what I'm
true,
saying? Only thought about his people, right? He's seen all the mishaps within everything within his people. And yes, he was dealing with a whole bunch of stuff within his group. He went on that pilgrimage. When he went on that pilgrimage, it changed his whole way of thinking. You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
He realized that, what was going on in America is something that is a worldwide thing. You know what I'm saying? That pilgrimage taught him something. So when he came back, he realized that racism isn't just a black and white thing. He realized that it's a human thing. It's
For sure.
humanity. You know what I'm saying? And humanity needs to be educated. So his power came more so from that pilgrimage when he came back to where he gained more power understanding the ideology and the truth that it's a human problem. It's not just a black and white problem. So he started educating everybody. You know what I'm saying? He started educating everybody. They killed him based off of the power that he was gaining from what he knows is to be true.
For sure.
And they knew for a fact that he was going to accomplish something. You know what I'm saying? Now, if everyone had that same that same way of thinking to where they look at it as being a human problem, it'll be easier to organize and easier for everyone to come together and not trust the government. Like, I don't trust the government, just like you, and, you know, and I'm thinking about the money. That's what causes me not to trust the government, because I
Yeah.
know the government ain't gonna do shit for any of us. They're gonna look out for their own pockets, they're gonna look out for their own people, they're gonna look out for their own groups. Everybody else outside of that, they don't care about that.
Period.
I don't pay attention to politics, because I know politics is nothing but a soap opera, bro. You got a whole bunch of people talking, you know what I'm saying? They talking about what they're going to do, but do you see anybody doing anything? You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't vote, bro. You know what I'm saying? Do we understand if our vote even counts? You know what I'm saying? If you look at who's in the White House right now, bro, people are mad at Donald Trump, right? I don't think people needs to be mad at Donald Trump. What I think people needs to be mad at are the people who voted him in there. You know what I'm saying? Because those are the people that put him there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew who Donald Trump was before he even got elected. Everybody knew that. But people believed in him. So you can't be mad at him for being himself. You got to be mad at the people that put him in there. You know what I'm saying?
So what about the people who don't want to be educated? Because there's so many of them.
There's so many, man. There's so many, man. And
I'm talking
that's
about the people who voted for Donald Trump, the people
mhm.
who have hate in their heart, and they do not care about. They're never gonna learn. So what do you do about those type of people?
What I'm doing right now, that's the challenge. That's the worst case scenario that I'm working on trying to figure out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking to myself, man, that there's so many ways that we could do this. And this is how we invoke everyone that has ideas about how to do this. You know what I'm saying? Not one person can change the shit. Everyone has to change it. Everyone does. So what I'm working on now is trying to figure out a way to reach those that don't want to be reached. You know what I'm saying? To reach those that don't want to be educated, that feel comfortable in this system. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, no one should feel comfortable. Nobody, you know, and it's showing. It's showing in every city. It's showing, you know, and what we got to do as a people, man, we just have to be organized in how we do everything. You know what I'm saying? We got to be organized to where we're protecting each other, we're educating each other, and 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 we're trying as a group, as a people, as human beings to move forward in a progressive way that causes systematic change. Because right now, I look at in more ways than one, we're adding to things that we hate, you know, because there's like, if you look at it now, even between, you know, the black community, man, I'm just talking about the black community. You have some people that appreciate the fact that they're out there breaking shit, and you have the other half that doesn't like it. But
Yeah,
then the one half that doesn't like it understands why they're doing it, you know.
yeah.
So that's there's a wedge between us, period, that we have to build a bridge to have just our community alone together, you know. I mean, it's so many different complex situations, man, that you got to think about, that you got to analyze. And the best way of doing this is we have to be smart collectively. Like, we all have to be smart collectively to get this right.
For sure.
But
Well,
we'll
shit,
get there,
man.
man.
I'm gonna see if somebody else want to jump on here. Stay tuned. Drop some comments for us.
Hell
Drop
yeah.
drop drop some solutions of how you think we can organize, man. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, bro, I love you, man. Peace, man.
Love you too, bro. Peace.